great day. I know I am. Today, I have a little story about a current job that I have, and, of how a crazy customer decided to try and argue with me about milk. So let's get into it. Now, before I begin, I'm going to paint a scene for you guys real quick. The scene starts off in a grocery store that I kind of work at. I kind of told you about this in my last story. Uh, Basically, this grocery store is um Actually, I'm just not gonna mention the name. It's a grocery store. There's a lot of them in California. I'm pretty sure some other states too, but we're focused on California right now. Sorry for that. Now, now while I was working at this grocery store, I have encountered a couple crazy people. Some of them not really being the best and not being the best situations. While others were actually pretty rational about things and were not that crazy. Nor were they like they weren't super chill, but they weren't like Ree, I'm gonna call the manager on you, cause Ree. Excuse me for that noise right there. I have no clue what I just said. Anyway, but yeah, not so. I was working the late shift. I had gotten like a lot of late shifts lately, like between the hours of 3 and midnight. So that's why it's like low key kind of hard to post YouTube videos when I need. Um, and I had interacted with, or I encountered this one customer who, for some reason, was trying to argue with me that silk milk was $1 more than what my computer was simply saying. And what happened was I scanned the milk and it's 3.99. Nice, so I let him know that, and he immediately, right off the bat, is not calm about it. Starts yelling at me, being, "No, it isn't. You're lying. The machine, or not the machine. The price over there says it's 2.99." And he's just like not having a good time. So in my head, I'm kind of like, "Oh, it's one of these customers." And so I'm kind of sitting there, just kind of explaining to him, like, "Sir, there are certain types of milk." I don't know why I said it like that. There are certain types of milk, and the milk he had, there was a 2.99 section. There was a section. So the 3.99 section, uh, had all of the milk, while the 2.99 had none. And I know some of you in the comments are going to be like, he could have just taken the last one. But when I went over there, there were actually no more. Like, they were just flat out no more of the one he was holding. So I kept trying to say, not in like a rude way. I'm like pretty calm at first, just kind of being like, it simply is 3.90, or simply is 3.99. Not really, like I don't really know what you want me to say. Like, I don't know 100% what you're trying to tell me. I don't really. I'm just kind of in a spot. I don't really know what to do, and I hate getting into these situations because I genuinely don't know what to do. I'm like 90%, like not 90%. Like, I'd say give it about 45, 50. Like 45 out of 50 times, I don't really situations because it's just awkward. Like, you're sitting there trying to let everyone know, or not let everyone, but like let the customer know, like, hey, this item, it costs this price, and then it just kind of gets awkward when they're just sitting there trying to argue with you, and it's not. But after a little bit of him complaining and basically stand when he said, and I know like how people are. Some people are very conservatory because they don't have enough, or maybe they only brought enough just for the one item and expect it to be any higher. And so I kind of like, I don't fix it for him, but I kind of am like, well, I'm sorry, but it's 3.99. And I'm not really budging at this point because I'm not one, like, I know you're not supposed to like argue or insult the customers, but at the same time, I'm not really gonna like kneel down and kiss their boot just because the customers, which, to be fair, the customer's not always right. Like, they'll honestly use that excuse for almost any. um so yeah, guys, if you're one of those people who just thinks the customer is always right 10 out of 10 times, you're most likely wrong. Hate to break it to you, but that's just kind of how life is. And so I finally get to a point where I'm like, you know what, fine, I'll lower it down to 2.99 just for you. Okay, I mean, there was no one else in the store. There was It was just this one guy, and that was it. And he was just not having it. So I was like, you know what? Fine. I'll just lower it to 2.99 because it's a $1 difference. Because apparently that is such a big deal, I guess. So I lower it down to 2.99. He starts trying. Now, this is the funny thing. So, and keep in mind the kind of milk he was buying was like a silk almond milk. I don't really know what about that, but that's not really my business. But so then he tries to explain something to me that just sounds so crazy. I'm not even sure if it's a thing, but he tries telling me that it's illegal for prices to or for prices to be wrong. And if a price is wrong, then that's considered illegal. So I kind of look at him flabbergasted, like not really knowing what to say, and I'm just kind of like, uh, "Sir, what do you mean?" And he goes, "No, it's illegal if the prices are wrong, and like." Because at this point, if that is the case, let's put it into retrospect. Hypothetically, if he was right and it was illegal, then like our Safeway would have probably been closed down like a while ago, specifically because we've made so many like there have been so many mistakes that have been made in that store, in the store that I work at. I said it. We're gonna call it something else. Uh, that we're gonna call it like the safest way to shop. And but basically though, like if that were the case, if safest way to shop kind of had like the safest way to shop would have been closed down already, and because of the amount of mistakes that we've made, like we've made so many errors with machines and whatnot, to the point that it were illegal, we would have been shut down. So this guy's not budging. He's still sticking with the story of how it's illegal and how like oh da 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 um basically just like it's a mess. So I'm kind of sitting there looking stupefied, and I'm just kind of like, it's not that illegal. But now here's what flabbergasts me even more. So after about a 15-minute argument of over a $1 difference, I kid you not when I say this, he pulls out a wad of a very expensive amount of money. One that made my eyes light up as in confusion, and he gave me one of those expensive monies, and then basically I gave him the change back. To which, of course, I was honestly scared that I wasn't even gonna have enough to give back because there's a certain limit that Checkers tills gets up to, and like it's not looking good. So I'm kind of sitting there just staring at it for like a little bit, not too long, just a little bit. But he gives me the money, so I wanted to get out of this interaction as fast as humanly possible. I just take it, I give him the milk, and I'm like, "Have a great day, sir." I'm almost something under my breath afterwards, which I know is kind of wrong to do, if that makes sense, because I know it's not a very it's not a very nice thing to do. But I mumble something under my breath about what he said. He looks back at me, which I immediately think oh crap, this dude probably heard what I said, and starts like counting out his money, like to make sure that I gave him the right change. Goes through it like three different times, and I'm just kind of like sitting there, my heart beating really fast, just to be like, oh god, like, I don't know, I just get this strong feeling in my stomach, some like the pit of my stomach that like something bad's gonna happen, and he then basically just turns away and leaves. Nothing too bad happened. I was honestly more worried of the fact that he was just gonna start, like he was gonna come back and start up a whole new argument about how I didn't change, which, not and like in all honesty, I really don't want to position. I've already been in that position a couple times, but at the same, or there'll be times, yeah, I've been in that position a couple times where like I've almost forgotten to give people's change back because there's just so much going on. I'm trying to rack my brain all at the same. But yeah. So I know this one was like kind of short. We're reaching about the we're reaching a good mark to stop. And I know that this was kind of short, but we're at the 10-minute. So I know this was kind of short, but it definitely is a story, and yeah. So thank you guys for listening and listening slash watching. Any more updates that I have, I will definitely guys and see you in the next video. I'm out. Peace.